Hi, this is Mike from ourPlan. Thanks for joining us today. I want to introduce you to a new iPad application that we recently released called ourPlan Track. I'll be giving you a brief overview of Track as well as a quick demo of the app. For those of you who are familiar with ourPlan, you'll see a lot of similar features in Track because we designed it as a companion to ourPlan. The main purpose of Track is to let users take their last planner system into the field. The use of iPads is exploding in the construction industry right now, and Track lets us take advantage of the iPads you all have out on the job sites. We also see an increasing number of subcontractors using iPads, and they can take advantage of Track too. Track was designed to be even simpler to use than ourPlan. Let me give you a quick summary of the main features of the app. First of all, you can view your weekly work plan in Track, and you can quickly update the status of your commitments, all from out on the job site, even if you don't have a continuous internet connection. Using the built-in iPad camera, you can capture photos and add notes to any activity in the plan. For larger jobs with lots of activities, Track has filters and sorting controls so you can limit the amount of information on the screen. You can also add or edit activities directly from your iPad. And finally, Track syncs with ourPlan in the cloud to help keep everyone up to date on the project. Okay, without further delay, let's switch over to my iPad and I can give you a quick look at ourPlan Track. As I said, Track's available in the App Store. You can search for it and download it for free. So if your project is already using ourPlan, you can start using Track right away. If your project isn't using ourPlan, it should be, and you can contact us to learn more about how ourPlan can help you take your production planning to a new level. Once you've installed Track, we would really appreciate it if you could go back to the App Store and give us a rating. Once you launch Track, it asks you to sign in. Use the same username and password you use to sign on to ourPlan. When you sign in, you must have an internet connection, either through Wi-Fi or a broadband data service like Verizon or AT&T. If you're signed into more than one project, the first thing you'll see is the project page, where you can tap on a project you want to open. If you're only assigned to a single project, you'll skip this page and go directly to the project. Let's open this hospital project. As Track opens the project for the first time, it downloads the project information and a 3-week snapshot of your weekly work plans. The next time you open your project, it'll open faster because it doesn't have to download all that data. The main screen in Track is the calendar, as we see here. Let me give you a quick tour of the main features of this screen. The title bar is at the top of the screen, and in the center is the name of the project and a button that lets you switch to another project. To the right is the Sign Out button, and next to that is the Help button. Let's take a look at the help screens. In Track, we get a quick help overlay that shows us the main features of the program. We can swipe through each screen to get more information about the different features. This is a great way to get a quick reminder if you forget how to do something in Track. In addition, you can also click the Help Desk button in the corner and it'll open up the ourPlan Help Desk on the web. Here you can ask a question, post a problem, or review articles that have been posted by others. Back on the help screen, if we want to close the help, we just tap on the screen and it shuts it down for us. On the far left side of the title bar is the sync button. And next to that, it shows us the date when we last synced ourPlan to the cloud. Below the title bar is the menu bar. And on the left side, it has a sort button, a filtered by button, and then over on the right, an update button, and a plus sign, which is where we can add new activities. Below the menu bar is the calendar. The calendar shows us up to 5 days of activities. When you first open Track, it'll open the current week, as we can see here. The current date is shaded. Under the date headers for each day are the activity cards. Each card represents a separate activity or commitment that is due to be completed on that day. For those who are familiar with the calendar view in ourPlan, this should look very similar. Let's take a look at what information is shown on each card. For example, This activity on Wednesday shows me the activity label, hang more features, and I can see by the symbols in the corner that this is a task that is in an open status. Just below that, I can see the assignee, James Jackson, and below that, the location, Area A, Floor 1, in Building 1. In the highlighted area, we can see this is a 2-day activity that doesn't have any handoff links or roadblocks connected to it. Below that is the Edit button and the Note button. To view a different week in the plan, I simply swipe my finger to the left or the right. If I swipe backwards, I see the previous week. And moving forward, I can see the next week. If I keep moving forward or backward in time, eventually I'll get to a week that I haven't yet downloaded. Since I'm connected to the internet right now, Track downloads that week's activities on demand. But if I don't have a connection, the Track will just show the activities that were downloaded the last time I synced. A couple of other things to know about the calendar: if you have more than 4 activities on a given day, as we did in this previous week, then you can scroll up and down to view all the activities. In addition, you can zoom from 5 days to 3 days. Just place your thumb and forefinger on the screen and spread them outward. This magnifies the cards so they're easier to see. You can switch back to the 5-day view by using the pinch gesture on the screen. Also, Track will work in portrait mode. So if you turn your iPad 90 degrees, it'll change the screen to a 3-day view, and now we can see more cards on the screen. Let's go back to landscape mode, and let me get back into my full screen. Okay, now I've introduced you to the basic controls in Track. Let's take a look at how to use Track to update your plan. First, let's switch to a new week, and let's change our color coding. Just like in ourPlan, we can switch between color coding by contact or by status. So now we can see that all of these are open activities because they're all orange. Let's go ahead and select some activities and update them. To select an activity, it highlights in blue, and I can pick more activities, and then from the update button, select a status and apply the changes. So now everything's changed to blue because these are all now committed. If I wanted to mark some activities as complete, I could select them, same process, and do a quick update. Incomplete works the same way, except that just like in ourPlan, we need to provide a root cause for each incomplete activity, and we can pick a new day when we want to complete this activity. Same thing for the second activity. Pick the reason, and if we choose not to reschedule it, we don't have to. We also have the option to add a note or a photo. Let's go ahead and save these out. So now those 2 activities are marked as incomplete. So we can see the colors are standing out here showing us the status. If I want to add a new activity, I can just press and hold on any day of the calendar, and it'll open up a new activity card. This card is similar to what we have in ourPlan, except that some of the fields are already filled in for us. Same required fields: label, assignee, finish date, and duration. Let's go ahead and enter a label. And we can see the assignee is automatically set to me. I can open up that field and quickly pick somebody else from the assignee list. I can also assign a location using the breakdown structure just like we have in ourPlan. Finish date's already set because I picked the 2nd, but I can come in and make a quick change to the duration and expand this to a 3-day activity. That's all it takes. Now we click Done, and it adds the new activity, as we can see here, on the calendar. Let's go back to the previous week. And let's say we want to edit an existing activity. We simply tap the Edit button and it opens up the activity card again. Here, if we need to make a change to one of the fields, we can. Also, I wanted to show you that at the top of the card are some tabs. Next to the main tab that we're on now is the Details tab. And here I can select some of the other fields like Team, Trade, Work Breakdown, or I can add a description. We also have a handoff field. Anything that's linked in our plan will show handoffs here in Track. And previous handoffs are the preceding trades that are feeding into us, and the future handoffs are our customers who are waiting for us to complete our tasks. If we don't want to make any changes, we can just simply click the Cancel button and it'll close the card. So we can add or edit activities in Track using all the same rules that apply in our plan. The user levels in Track are inherited from our plan, so each user can only edit or update the activities that are permitted by their user level. I'm currently logged in as a project admin, but if I was a level 1 user, many of these edit buttons would say View, and I would only be able to would not be able to update them. For larger projects, it may be useful to be able to sort or filter the cards on the screen. I can tap on the Sort button and open up the Sort panel, where I have options for sorting, ascending, or descending. Currently we're sorted by status, but if I wanted to sort by location or by company, I could simply pick one of those and tap out of the window and it resorts the screen. Let's switch back over into our contact color coding so it's easier to see how we're sorting things on the screen. Filters also work the same way they do in our plan, where we select the information that we want to show and everything else is removed from the screen. So for example, if I want to set a filter for building 1, floor 1, and area A, I can set that filter and it reduces the amount of information again on the screen. The last thing I want to show you is about Track and its syncing with the cloud. You may remember that I told you that Track downloads a snapshot of your project when you first sign in. You can update that snapshot on your iPad, but no one else on the project will see those changes until you sync them with the cloud. In addition, you won't see any new information from any other members of your project team until you sync to download them to Track. When I first started this demo, the sync button in the top left corner of the screen was white, but now we can see that it's green, and that tells me that I've made local changes on my iPad that I haven't synced with the cloud yet. Tapping on the sync button opens up the sync window, and we can see a list of all the activities that we've changed since the last time we synced. Before I click the Sync Now button to upload these to the cloud, I want to show you the settings. The first option under Sync Settings is to download all attachments. Attachments on projects can end up being fairly large and can take a while to download. So we give you the option to turn those off so that you don't take time to download them to Track. We can also see that we have control over the number of past weeks and future weeks that we download. By default, Track downloads the current week plus 1 week in the past and 1 week in the future, but we can either increase or decrease those options. And then finally, we can see the full refresh option. That option will discard all of the local changes that we've made since the last time we synced and download a fresh copy of the project. Track checks to make sure that you really want to do that because you'll lose all your local changes. We're going to cancel out of that for now and go back over and tap the Sync Now button. Track connects to ourPlan in the cloud and begins the process of downloading any new information or changes. And then it will upload your local updates so that everything is in sync. We recommend that you sync at least twice a day, once in the morning to make sure you download any recent changes, and once at night to upload the changes you've been making in Track during the day. You can sync more often if you have access to an internet connection. Okay, so that's it. That's everything I wanted to show you in Track for today. Let's do a quick check to see if we have any questions coming in over the webinar. The first question is, Can subcontractors use Track? Yes, anyone with a valid username and password on ourPlan can sign in to their project using Track. The next question is, what's the best practice for using Track? Well, we think one of the most common uses for Track would be for superintendents to take it with them on their job walks or use it during their daily huddles to see what's been committed to in the weekly work plan and quickly update status. But we've also heard about some PEs who want to use Track to update the plan during the weekly coordination meetings because it runs faster than ourPlan. We're looking forward to hearing how you want to use Track, and we hope you'll share your ideas with us. Here's another question. Is there a way to view the Gantt chart in Track? No, this first version of Track uses just the calendar view that I've shown you. We encourage your suggestions for future enhancements, but we really hope that you will use Track for a week or two to become familiar with it and then give us your wish list. We promise to use the most popular suggestions as the basis for the next major upgrade. That's all the time we have for questions right now, so I want to thank you all for joining us on this webinar, and I hope you'll go out and download Track right away. Thanks, everybody.